I was, at the time, naive enough to not be listening to my body, and my body was just knocking at me going, hey, there's something wrong, for almost 3 years. I actually wanted to talk today a little bit about why I decided to go plant-based in changing my entire diet and mindset on how I looked at food. And it has been a very, very interesting journey. For those of you who don't know, last year in August, late August, I was diagnosed with colon cancer. And despite what a lot of people may think about that, I was very grateful for it, because it actually was a huge turning point in my life that led me to where I'm at now. And it has been an incredible, incredible journey that I do not look back and resent for 1 second. My journey actually started about 3 years before I was diagnosed with cancer. And essentially what ended up happening was I went on what's called a ketogenic diet, or an Atkins diet, or the stricter form of what we call a paleo diet. And I went basically full bore on, being a meat eater and eating fats and all of these really, hardcore things. And it's funny because as soon as I got on this so-called ketogenic diet, I started experiencing all of these weird, fatigue and headaches and what they would call a keto flu and all these things. And at the end of the day, you weren't supposed to feel that way. And after about 4 months, I looked great. I mean, I had a nice abs. I was somewhat faster, but I always felt a little low on energy, lethargic. I felt like I would, not get quality of sleep. And after something pretty traumatic happened in my life, which forced me to go and get checked. And when I ended up going to get checked, the doctor did a colonoscopy, assured me, you're young, you probably got nothing to worry about, but let's just go in and see what it is, and we'll give you a pill for it, and voila, you should be fine within 3 to 6 months. Well, they pulled me out of my colonoscopy within 10 minutes. And as soon as I came out, the doctor comes in with, this white look on his face going, we found something. And I just looked confused and I said, well, what, like cancer? And he goes, yes. And I wasn't even granted, well, we're sending in a biopsy. It was just an absolute yes. According to him, the tumor was almost completely blocking my entire colon and part of my rectum. The GI doctor said, you got to go see a surgeon ASAP. Now, knowing as much as I know, I probably would have taken a little bit more of a harder look in regards to the surgery. So I didn't necessarily go straight plant-based from the get-go. And so I started off, kind of pescatarian, vegetarian, and then I would read a little bit more into it and see how, the dairy was really not the best thing for us, and how it really can back up your lymphatic system, and how all that plays into like the phlegm that we've got in our bodies that gets backed up, and how disease can get trapped in that. And as a cyclist, I started thinking, well, no, we need carbs and we need bread and we need pasta and we need all these things. And it couldn't have been further from the truth. You don't need all those things. And I'm living proof of it. So much so, my times for cycling have gotten so much faster. I feel so much lighter on my bike. Aside from being lighter, I just feel so much lighter on my bike. And when I really started to notice the difference is when I started riding, and I would look back and see guys that just used to rip my legs off cycling way, way behind me when we would go climbing. That's essentially where I really was able to see this massive change. And the funny part is, I wasn't even coming close to training as much as I used to before. And so what that told me was, when I was happier, and especially if you're not a pro, when I was happier, just kind of doing my own thing, riding with my friends and not riding when I didn't feel like riding, I really did better. I eat a lot of fruit. Fruit is just an incredible thing for us. It's what we're made to eat. Fruits and berries and some leafy greens is what I now eat for the staple of my diet. Now that doesn't mean I don't have some hemp granola every once in a while, and I don't do dairy. Probably the last time I did dairy was Tour de Big Bear. If I do, it's just a taste of something or something like that. But I don't judge myself when I do either. I just say, hey, listen, it tastes good. It tastes good, but I'm not gonna douse myself in it. But essentially, I eat a lot of mango. I eat a lot of bananas. Probably people look at what I eat and think I'm a monkey, because I just really enjoy it, and I can eat as much as pretty much as I want to. I eat a lot of dates. I don't drink coffee anymore. I just feel so much better, and it keeps me really going that much more when I am on my bike, and I just don't have that kind of cloudiness that you have when you put all that processed sugar into your body, which I've really learned that just doesn't make me feel good, and maybe it makes you feel good, and everybody's different obviously, but I really go based off of how I feel now, as opposed to, getting diagnostics and all these things and going crazy and just driving myself trying to tinker with every single perfection part of, the science. I just basically go, hey, do I feel good? Yeah, all right. Then it must be working. And that's how I really understand if my diet is headed in the right direction or if it's not.